Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Dharamsala, India. So, of course, this is the home of the Dalai Lama. This is an impromptu video because I'm going to try to make a few of this type of videos kind of live. I'm doing this live on Facebook, and then later I will upload it on YouTube, because for Facebook this is just for members only, members of my group here, but I will later post it on YouTube. Now, the reason I'm also doing videos, this kind of live video here, is because I'm hoping that people will comment or even just say hi. Okay, right. And I'm doing this because I'm hoping that once I get the proper equipment and once I learn how to use OBS properly, that I can do live streaming, because I prefer when I can have interaction from the audience, okay, or the viewers. Okay, so I just want to do some videos on this video on a few of the topics that and things that came up in this past week, because I do controversial stuff, so I think these are interesting topics to talk about. And the thing is, please remember that I do controversial things, so obviously it's going to trigger some people. Obviously I have my own opinion regarding certain things. It might not be the same as yours, but this is me, this is my channel, these are my opinions, and this is how I want to do things. Now, I'm in my hotel room, so if there's any noise, it's because people are up and down here, and my husband will probably be going in and out of the room. So just excuse all of that. The water might be running, but this is live. So, first thing, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, they got released from the Romanian jail, and they are now under house arrest. So all I can say about this is that, the way things are done in Romania is very weird, because there they can jail you without any evidence, or while they are still searching for evidence. So this is what happened with the Tate brothers. They jailed them, but there's no evidence as yet, and they are still searching. Now they've put them under house arrest, which again is weird because they have no evidence. They don't know whether they're guilty or innocent or whatever as yet. So, I mean, that's how things work in that country. Fortunately, I don't live in that country, and I don't think I would ever want to live in a country like that where the law is crazy like that. Okay, so the other thing I want to say about this Andrew Tate saga is that thank you for those people who commented on the videos that I made of Andrew Tate. I really appreciate it, love it. So one of the things that was under discussion was this lover boy tactic that Andrew Tate and Tristan allegedly used on getting women to work for them. So what it means is that they will pretend to women that they love them, that they are their boyfriend, and seduce them. And then, because when these women are then in love with them, then they get them to come to Romania, because obviously if you are in love with someone, you want to be with them. I did that. I was in love with my husband and I moved to Malaysia to be with him. So maybe that's how it works. And then when they get to Romania, then they maybe will start talking to them and saying, oh, why don't you work for me? I have this webcam business. You can make money, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, this is called lover boy tactic. So basically, I think most women have been victims of lover boy tactics, right? We've been in situations where we thought this person that we are with loves us, and then we did things for them out of love. And then we found out later that it had nothing to do with love. He was only using you for whatever reason, right? This happened, right? Or also maybe you think you are his only girlfriend, and then you find out that he's got other girlfriends in other places, right? This has happened to all of us. Well, not all of us, to most of us, right? This happened to me when I was 21. I had a boyfriend. I mean, I thought he was my boyfriend. He told me he loved me. I told him I loved him. Not that I really loved him, because now I know that that was not love, it's infatuation. In fact, I've never been in love with anybody in my life. I know that now because I don't believe in romantic love. But at that time, I thought he was in love with me. He came to visit me. I was in a different province. He came because I was studying in Cape Town. He came to visit me, and then I would go back home and be with him. And then only to find out that he has another girlfriend, and he's got some other 3 other girls he had on the side. I was just a side chick. So he lied, right? Luckily, he did not ask me to join his business, whatever business he was having, or anything like that. But this is something that happens to women, okay? So now I hear that it's actually an offense for a man to do this, which is weird, because then that means most of the men I've dealt with in my life, they should go to prison because they all lied. Hello? I'm around. I've always been around. I've just not been on Facebook because Facebook is not a good platform. You know, I'm a serious person. I cannot really be on Facebook. I have to be in places where I can be more, because I like serious conversation. Sorry, that's just me. I can patsy if I need to, but most of the time I'm a serious person. Okay, so anyway, going back to the lover boy tactic. This is how it works with the lover boy tactic. Okay, so I don't know how this can be an offense where a man manipulates you into thinking that he loves you and that there's a relationship, and then later you find out that he was only lying to you. Of course, it goes further. In Andrew's case is where he told them to join his business, which was webcam, sexing yourself up, slutting around on webcam. He convinced them to do this, and then they did it. Okay, so whether this was sex trafficking, whether they're guilty of this, I don't know, because I'm waiting for the court case. I'm not going to be like some people who are just jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, they're guilty. No, I'm in the innocent until proven guilty camp, and case must go to trial first camp. That's me. Okay, but my advice to women and men, if you are in this situation, this lover boy tactic situation, this is just my advice. So if you're a man, number one, I know men, I know that you like to lie to women when it comes to relationships. I know that you like to manipulate. I know that a lot of you like to control. And a lot of you will like to convince us to do things that we don't want to do. So all I want to say to you is, try to stop doing that, okay? And why I say you must try to stop doing this is because you see what will happen to you. One day, some woman is going to be all victimed up, and she's going to take you to court for this. And then you're going to sit in jail. So men, be careful. Just be careful. I know it's in your nature, but be careful. Women, all I can say to you is stop being stupid. Stop being stupid. And for me, it's easy to say because, like I said, I don't believe in romantic love. That's just crap. Crap. It does not exist. You know how God does not exist for some of you? Well, romantic love does not exist for me. So, don't be stupid, women. Be an independent woman, you know, power, girl power. And do not fall for this. If he says he loves you, nice. Join him in his job, nice. Look at what kind of job it is that you're supposed to do. If you feel uncomfortable, then just don't do it. But also take ownership if you do something like this webcam business that Andrew Tate was running. Take ownership for the decision you made. Okay, stop being childish. Pull yourself together. That's all I can say to women. Stop being a victim. Be a strong and independent woman, like we all want to, feminists want to claim that we are. Okay, so that's case number 1. Now going on to case number 2. Trump. Okay, so Trump got indicted. Why? I really don't know, because I was not really researching this, but I think it's not out there. I just know one thing is that something about he paid off Stormy Daniels. You know, the whole Stormy Daniels, he had some extramarital affair with her or whatever, and he paid her off. Now, I think Stormy Daniels is a porn star or something like that, and he paid her off to keep to be silent about this. So again, I don't want to jump to conclusions whether Trump's guilty or not guilty or whatever of this particular thing. I don't know other things that he's being indicted for, but just this particular one about Stormy Daniels, I don't know. I'm going to wait for the court case, because that is the adult thing to do, and it's also the intelligent thing to do. But of course, if you are stupid, not intelligent, then I mean, you can go on about and speculate, but you know, I'm not stupid, so I'll wait for the court case. And then, because I like to give advice, unsolicited advice, unnecessary advice, but this is my channel, so I will give advice. So my advice would be, for men, do not have extramarital affairs. Common sense, because that woman you are having an extramarital affair with, you don't know what she's going to be, what she's capable of. Maybe when you're done with her, this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to have to pay her off, because you have to, because it might affect whatever thing you want to do in the future. Number 2, do not have an extramarital affair, because it's going to come and bite you in the backside in the end. And if you look at what happened to Chris Watts, it might lead you into killing your family. Right? So maybe it's not a good idea. Just stick to your marriage. For women, if you're going to have an extramarital affair with a man, be a woman about it. And don't blackmail him when it's done. That is very low. It's very low class. Why should you want to blackmail him? You know, if you're supposed to be an independent, powerful woman, why are you doing that? You go into the extramarital affair with your eyes open. You know what it's about. And then when you see it cannot continue, just move on. Why are you blackmailing him? How low class are you to be doing that? And the other thing is this. You must also be prepared that if you're going to be in an extramarital affair with a man, with a man who is married. If you in an affair with a man who's married, you know, you might be the reason why he goes and kills his wife and his children. So maybe you should think about that. Okay? You will be causing that man to commit murder. So, okay. Other topic of conversation for the week was ban Russia from the Olympics. Everyone is ban Russia from the Olympics, ban Russia from the Olympics. All I can say about this is, well, if I can understand why people want Russia banned from the Olympics because of what's going in Ukraine. So then I would think it would then also make sense to ban USA, UK, and Israel. That would be fair, right? So what I want to say about this is, if you're going to ban Russia, please go ahead and ban all the other ones as well. If you're not going to ban the other ones as well, then you are just all hypocrites. And you are also blatantly saying only some lives matter. You are saying only Ukrainian lives matter, and to hell with Middle Eastern lives. That's what you're saying. Okay, right. Other thing is the ICC issued an arrest warrant for Russia. Okay, so number one, great, but where is the arrest warrant for Bush, Clinton, Blair, and Obama? Especially for Obama, Obama, Lord of the Drones. Where are the arrest warrants for them? What's sauce for the goose has to be sauce for the gander. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Right? What the ICC, International Criminal Court, why are they being biased? Why are they being hypocritical? Should they be respected? Should this warrant be honored when it's not an honorable warrant? That's all I have to say. Is, yeah, fine. You give it to Russia, then give to those other countries I've mentioned as well. Okay, and then it's a big thing because, Putin is supposed to be coming to South Africa for the BRICS summit. And the ICC wants South Africa to arrest Putin. Now, South Africa is a BRICS member. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And there's a few new ones now, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, I think that are joining, Iran. So I can't see South Africa, how it would make sense for South Africa to arrest Putin when they are in an alliance. I don't see NATO making big story over UK and USA for killing millions of people in the Middle East. Because they won't, because they are an alliance. So I don't see that happening. So I think we all have to be a little bit intelligent about this and stop being naive, because I don't see this happening. Okay? And for those South African friends of mine that want South Africa must arrest Putin, blah, 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 blah. This is all I want to say to you. First of all, you are living in South Africa. South Africa is a member of BRICS. BRICS is very important to our economy, which means it's very important to our well-being and welfare. And you are the one who wants this to be compromised. Right? You want South Africa to arrest Putin, and then that's the end of BRICS for us. And what do you think is going to happen when we are not a member of BRICS? You complain about load shedding, cost of living is too high, no jobs, blah, 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 blah. And yet, you want us not to be a member of BRICS anymore. If we are already in this bad situation now, can you imagine how it's going to be without BRICS? Because the USA and all those countries who wants this arrest for Putin, for South Africa to arrest Putin, do you think they're going to form an alliance with us and help us economically? Do you think that's going to happen? Can you see all those white countries, and I say white, yes, EU, USA and all those countries, first world countries, do you think they are going to be assisting us, giving us things at cheaper prices because, we are a developing country? Do you think they're going to do that? No, they're not. They are not. So that little arrest Putin thing you have, I think you better just shove it in your back pocket and keep quiet, or move on. The world is big. You can go live in another country. You don't have to live in South Africa. You can go live in Ukraine. Since you want to stand with Ukraine, you're going to live there. It's a good country. Just every now and then you'll have to run away from bombs and stuff, but otherwise it's a fine country. It's a swell country. Because I stand with RSA. I don't stand with USA, EU, NATO, Ukraine, none of those. I stand with RSA. Okay? Next one. Indonesia wants Israel banned from FIFA. Way to go, Indonesia. Thank you. At least there is a country that's putting their foot down. They are not afraid. And they might lose. Their offer to host the country has been withdrawn by FIFA. So what? FIFA? You're just a sports association, a football association. If you think Indonesia, this is gonna affect Indonesia like very badly, then you're wrong. If Israel if Indonesia wants Israel banned from FIFA, they can do that. Like people are wanting Russia banned from the Olympics, they can do that. So what's the big deal? Okay, right. The other big issue that's been going on is the transgender issue, which is always an issue going on. There was an attack on, what's her name, Posie. I don't know if it was, I can't remember which country, New Zealand or Australia or UK, one of those crazy countries, because she has been labeled a TERF by, please close the window, sorry, my husband, the door. She has been labeled as a TERF by the, let me see which country she was attacked in. She was labeled a TERF by the trans people, because TERF means anyone who says trans women are not women, or who fight for women's rights, things like that. I think her name is Rosie Parker, is it? No, Rosie. Oh, whatever her name is, I can't find it now. But anyway, she got attacked by the trans people during a rally in one of these countries. And I just say this is quite sad because, I don't know why there should be this war between women and the trans community. Because as much as the trans community have the right to exist, so do women. Women too have the right to exist. And so I don't see why there's this fighting. It's like the same fight that women have with men. Men and women are always fighting. So why are trans people fighting with women? Why is this? Why don't trans people want women to exist? And there is nothing wrong in saying that a trans woman is not a woman, because that is just a fact. That is just a fact. A woman is an XX chromosomal human being, and a trans woman is not. It's an XY chromosomal human being. And when you saw the people who were beating up Rosie Parker, those were men. Those were biological men beating her up. So I don't understand why there's this war, and I hope that this war can come to an end between trans women, because it's not trans men. Trans men are fine. They don't even talk. It's trans women and women. There is this war which is not necessary. It is not. We can exist together. We just have to acknowledge that we are different. That's all. And we are different. We are not the same. So anyway, I just hope things will get better. The other thing with the trans thing that's going on is that trans women have been banned from transgender people have been banned from elite sports. No, sorry, trans women have been banned from competing against women in elite sports. So this makes sense to me for a lot of biological reasons. But I think how they can solve this problem is by the sports associations saying that to be able to qualify to compete in the female category, you must have been born a woman. And you must be of an XX chromosomal human being. That's the only way we're going to solve this problem. Like they do with the transgender beauty pageants. Like the Thai transgender beauty pageant, it will say there, you must have been born a male to be able to enter, which means I cannot enter. I tried many years ago. I cannot enter. I even tried to dance in the dance group there. No, you have to have been born a male. Okay, right. Then the last thing, again, still with the transgender issue, is the shooting in the USA, the recent shooting now. I don't know all the details, but anyway, I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. What I find so weird is that normally in these shootings, what people will be talking about is the shooter, you know, who he is, his background, etc. And then they will also be talking about mainly they always focus on the victims. Even if you talk too much about the shooter, people get upset. I remember with the Christchurch thing, Jacinda Ardern, you know, Miss Woke, Queen of the Woke, she even said, we're not even going to mention his name because it's not about him, it's about the victims. Don't make it about the shooter, it's about the victims. And this has been for a lot of the shooting going on. It's the thing now that it has to be about the victims. Don't make the shooter famous, because that is actually what the shooter wants. They want to become famous. That's why they do these things. Yet, weirdly enough, or not weirdly, I would say, since how things are going these days, I guess this is just obvious that this would have happened, where now it's more about the shooter. Victims are not important. Who they were, what, blah, blah, this is not important. It's just now about the shooter. It's about how we have to support the shooter, because we must not misgender the shooter. We are using the wrong pronouns. We have to support the trans community. You know, look at how, because of how they are not accepted by society, they are resorting to this kind of thing and blah, blah. You know, it's like, basically, it's like, to hell with the victims. It's all about, and it's not even about the deed, about this person picked up a rifle or whatever it was and shot these people down in cold blood. It's not about that. It's about, how dare you misgender this person, and how dare you use the wrong pronouns. That's the topic of conversation. And that is why I almost got banned again from Reddit yesterday. Strange times we're living in. Very strange times we're living in. But we are living, which I guess is a good thing, but it's strange times. So anyway, this was just an impromptu video. Like I said, I'm going to do more of these, maybe once a month, where I do it live, because I hope more people will watch. I think I will put out a schedule, although I don't want it. I want it to just be like organic, like now. And if you want to say hi, say hi. If you want to give a wave, give a wave. I won't mention your name. I'll just acknowledge that I see that you are watching. Hi, I see you watching. And so anyway, please like my YouTube channel, subscribe, comment if you can, to beat the algorithms, please, because I do controversial content, so the algorithms is not kind to me. So cheers, and have a good day.